New tonight on Our News. Could we see a former cabinet minister return to Parliament? Our News has insight on a possible nomination for the PLP party. Plus, Our News is on the ground in Grand Bahama as burial plans for Cabinet Minister Obi Wilchcombe are underway in West Grand Bahama. And then, documents obtained by Our News show aircrafts owned and operated by 2 airlines have been suspended from flights. And then in Our News at 7:30, tempers flare at a Pride Week forum hosted by the University of the Bahamas. Details on those stories and much more as Our News Live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. A familiar face has been nominated to be the PLP's next candidate in the upcoming by-election. But the party says former MPs will not be considered. Still, leaked documents revealing West Grand Bahama and Bimini PLP branch chairmen say they want a former cabinet minister, Shane Gibson, to be their next MP. Brittany McDermott tells us more.
With speculation mounting over who the PLP will select to run in West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Our News obtained these letters from the constituency chairmen nominating former PLP Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson. The first letter from Bimini Branch Chairman Kitty Saunders to leader Philip Davis reads, "We believe that Mr. Gibson is the ideal candidate to fill the important role. Unlike a novice politician with no prior governance experience, Mr. Gibson has a proven track record of dedication and effective service to his constituents and his country." The second letter, signed by 3 branch chairmen in West Grand Bahama, reads, "Though he may have previously served as a member of Parliament on New Providence, the people of Grand Bahama have keenly felt the positive impact of his dedicated work during his time as a cabinet minister." However, a statement from the party says no former parliamentarian will be a part of the selection pool, adding the choice will come from the existing stock of aspirants from the 2021 general election.
Yesterday, the party again issued a statement about the process of the selection of a candidate to succeed the late Obi Wilchcombe in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. The fact is the process has not begun and various actors are improperly stirring the pot.
Gibson served 3 terms as Member of Parliament for Golden Gates. He was also appointed Minister of Housing and Minister of National Insurance and Labour. He was also a trade unionist serving as BCPOU president. Gibson's most recent stint in the headlines came during a criminal trial in 2019. It ended in him being acquitted of 15 counts of bribery. Despite his past, both branch heads say Gibson has made many notable contributions to the constituency during the times he served in cabinet. The party, however, says the selection process hasn't begun yet.
But the leader intends, he says, to convene the candidates committee shortly, at which point a nominee will be advanced to the National General Council as soon as the official funeral is done on the 12th of October 2023.
When contacted, Gibson declined to comment. Reporting for Our News, I'm Brittany McDermott.
This week, we learned of a change in venue and date for the state funeral for the late Social Services Minister Obi Wilchcombe. The state funeral for the West Grand Bahama and Bimini MP is scheduled for next Thursday, October 12th, at Christ Church Cathedral in Nassau. His body will then be flown to Grand Bahama the following day, in preparation for a funeral service on Saturday, October 14th at Christ the King Pro Cathedral Church in Freeport. Once that service is done, Wilchcombe is to be laid to rest in his native West End. Already, a mausoleum-style grave is being built at the West End Public Cemetery, next to the grave of his late father. Crews are constructing the burial site and clearing the surrounding area in preparation for the committal service. Sources tell us a short march is being planned in West End to the gravesite. Be sure and stay tuned to the Our News Network for the latest details of the funeral and burial. A grandmother is facing charges after allegedly failing to notify authorities that her 4-year-old granddaughter had been indecently assaulted. The 51-year-old woman is charged with failing to report the abuse of a minor. Prosecutors say the woman knew that her 50-year-old brother inappropriately touched the minor on October 1st, but failed to report it. Their names have been withheld to conceal the victim's identity. They both denied the allegations at an arraignment before Senior Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans, who set bail at $7,000 each. The accused returned to court in November for their trial. Firefighters are investigating what led to two structural fires that left 3 people injured. The first blaze was reported around 4 p.m. at Universal Auto Parts off Wolf Road. Fire service officers responded and contained the fire. However, the building sustained extensive damage. 2 male employees, ages 39 and 47, were treated on scene by emergency medical technicians for non-life-threatening injuries and taken to the hospital for further treatment. The second fire happened around 6:30 p.m. That's when fire services received reports of an explosion at a home on Oxford Drive in Stapleton Gardens. Responding officers found the kitchen section of a 6-room, single-story stone structure extensively damaged after a propane gas tank exploded. A 35-year-old woman was injured and taken to the hospital for further medical attention. Investigations into both fires continue. Flamingo Air under critical observation following that viral video earlier this week of their aircraft door ladder deployed mid-flight. Our news obtaining a document circulated internally by the Bahamas Air Navigation Services Authority, which says the Civil Aviation Authority has suspended with immediate effect Flamingo Air's aircraft Charlie 6 Mike Kilo. Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority, Devard Francis.
It is at the discretion of civil aviation. So for any airline, we can in fact proffer an inspection on any airline in the Bahamas, and that's basically the portfolio of civil aviation.
Our news learning that 2 aircrafts belonging to Pineapple Air were also grounded according to that document. Charlie 6 Mike India Charlie and Charlie 6 Kilo Sierra Charlie. Francis sharing what can happen during their investigation process.
The inspectors, they have a myriad of various things that they look for. They look at records, they look at maintenance, and so there's a litany of things that they look for as far when it comes to inspecting aircrafts. And so I can't even give a timeline as to when they will be completed.
Well, our Italia Hall has a full report with the chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority coming up in our news at 7:30. Be sure and stay tuned. Cloudy skies this afternoon, but will the weather hold up through the weekend? Meteorologist Ian McKinsey is standing by in the Weather Center with that answer.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas, on this fabulous Friday. Currently outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 83. Our winds are from the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour with a feels-like temperature of 91. Taking a look at our forecast right now, current temperatures rather across the nation. In our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 82, set of 83s in Marsh Harbor, Great Harbor Key, Nicholstown, Andros, the capital, and also Governor Sabi Luthra. Hotspot tonight in the northwest Bahamas, Alistown, Bimini coming in at 84. For the central Bahamas, we have 84 in Camps Bay and also Coburn Townsend, Salvador, a pair of 83s in Georgetown and Edmonds Key, Long Island, and 82 in Arthurstown, Kidd Island. For the southeast Bahamas, we have 84 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, 83 in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, 82s in Delectable Bay, Auckland, and Abrahams Bay, Miaguano. And a warm spot tonight, Providenciales and Matthewtown coming in at 85. Here's your first look at satellite and radar imagery at this time. Across the northwest Bahamas, we have some streaming moisture that should clear out through the course of the night. Most of this is associated with now post-tropical Philippe, which is well to the east of our area and continuing to trend towards the north. Stick around for extended forecasts, and your tropical weather outlook is still to come.
Still to come on our news, age-old problems at the Broadcast Corporation leads to a protest this afternoon. The BCPOU president calling for better communication from ZNS management. Plus, residents could expect less power outages come summer 2024. We'll tell you BPL's plan to combat the vexing issue. And in tonight's Work in Progress segment, our Berthany McDermott talks flooding and the new equipment expected to make an impact when our news returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages.
Late payment of salaries, overtime, union benefits, and even rodent infestation of their building are just some of the issues why ZNS workers gathered outside the company's headquarters protesting this afternoon. Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union President Sherry Benjamin is calling on management to communicate more effectively with workers as some of the issues are age-old.
This isn't something that just started and we're out here. We don't take that approach. We've been trying to work with management to make sure that this problem is addressed.
What has been their response?
None.
No response.
Every single time, it's always reactive. These people have children. In some cases, they have grandchildren. They have families that depend on them.
Recently, former Office of the Prime Minister Press Secretary Clint Watson was named General Manager of ZNS. Benjamin says none of the promises made during her meeting with him have been kept.
Myself as the union president or my secretary general have to call into management to find out, hey, listen, the staff is saying their salaries haven't reached the bank. He told us, me as union president and my officers, when we did a courtesy call out with him, he said he's about putting his people first. He will make sure that they're taken care of. We want to know who is his people.
BCB Chairman Will Forbes responding to today's protest, saying it took him by surprise. We'll have his response coming up in our news at 7:30. On the heels of a hot summer, Bahamas Power and Light officials are already planning for summer 2024 to prevent constant outages, according to Minister Responsible JoBeth Colby Davis. The Energy Minister telling reporters her ministry is coming up with a plan.
We are planning now to make sure that our maintenance programs are well advanced so that we can begin working on all of our plants, all of our generators, and getting them ready for the load that may come. We saw a really big load usage this summer, and it really is tied into climate change. A lot of the world was experiencing an extremely hot summer, and so we want to make sure that we're well prepared and ready. And so our teams are already working towards preparation for next summer.
Back in September, a senior executive revealed BPL saw a roughly 8% increase in its summer load on New Providence. Speaking to the Abaco Business Outlook, Chief Administrative Officer Ian Pratt said the load jumped from 260 megawatts in 2022 to 280 megawatts this year. This summer also saw consumers grappling with doubling and in some instances tripling power bills. Colby Davis says while the bills will trend downward, she says the plan is to implement new plans.
We're seeking to bring new fuel mixes in, so the less you burn, you can bring the cost down as well. And so that's a discussion, and then we're doing a tariff assessment as well. So we're seeking to have a lot of different contributing factors come together simultaneously so that it can help to bring the cost of electricity down. And so the rest of this year, it's going to be a lot of heavy lifting from myself, the board, and the executive of BPL, so that we can really have a plan of action that can see this transition to cleaner energy, but reliable and affordable energy as well.
The Ministry of Works looking to provide relief to Bahamians constantly facing flooding challenges whenever it rains. In this week's Work in Progress, we caught up with a senior civil engineer who explains what they're doing to provide relief. Brittany McDermott reports.
The Ministry of Works getting 7 new pumps to assist with draining areas most impacted by flooding. Senior civil engineer in the Ministry of Works, Henry Moxley, explains how the process works.
When we get into an area, we assess firstly to see where we can discharge the water, where we can set up the pump. Because as you can see here in the background, the pump needs an area where it needs to be primed, so an area whereby we can actually draw water from and then discharge. So normally the area that is flooded would become the area that we have as a suction area. Secondly, finding the area that now we can discharge the water to. As I stated in previous interviews, these pumps have the capacity of moving some 1,000 to 1,500 gallons per minute.
Many areas in New Providence suffer from severe flooding after heavy rainfall. Moxley says the pumps prevent rainwater from entering the surrounding homes. But where do they discard the water when the process wraps up?
The discharge area would be probably another drain into the drains itself, one, or it can be right, if the need arises where we can actually discharge it into a truck that will move it out of the area, or we can create an area whereby we will have a staging area, like a lagoon, on an open area, like a park area.
Moxley explains the Family Islands won't be left out. He says an additional 10 pumps are on the way, some of which will be distributed to islands like Abaco, Exuma, and Grand Bahama. Moxley says the pumps are a part of a larger solution.
It's only a component of the overarching solution. But this year, the pump, for the most part, is going to provide temporary relief, so that when the permanent solution is in place, then that would be the main effect of that area.
Reporting for Work in Progress for Our News, I'm Brittany McDermott.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as former U.S. President Donald Trump lending his support for a possible Speaker of the House. Plus, the first witness in Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX trial takes the stand. And from the region, 6 newborns found discarded near a cemetery in the Dominican Republic. We have the details when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Former U.S. President Donald Trump endorsed Ohio Rep. Jim Jordan's bid for Speaker of the House Friday. In a post on Truth Social shortly after midnight, Trump said Jordan, quote, will be a great Speaker of the House and has my complete and total endorsement, end quote. Republicans are slated to hear from Speaker candidates at a forum next Tuesday, setting up the next possible House-wide Speaker vote on Wednesday. In the meantime, the vacancy essentially leaves the House paralyzed. The first witness in Sam Bankman-Fried's trial, cocoa broker Juilliard, was seen leaving a Manhattan courthouse on Wednesday as the criminal trial gets underway. In his opening statement, defense lawyer Mark Cohen acknowledged FTX lent money to the former CEO's hedge fund, Alameda Research, but said Bankman-Fried reasonably believed that those loans were permitted and backed up by collateral. Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty to charges. He used FTX customer money to prop up his hedge fund, buy luxury real estate, and donate to U.S. political campaigns and candidates. The French government is battling to contain a bout of nationwide panic over bed bugs in Paris just 9 months before the capital hosts the next Summer Olympic Games. Government officials were holding an emergency meeting Friday on how to tackle a crisis following viral posts on social media. Sniffer dogs are said to be inspecting French trains and the Paris metro for bed bugs, although the transport minister says so far not a single one has been found on public transport. There has been a mixture of media hysteria, political opportunism, and national anxiety over whether the tiny critters might ruin the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And from the region, police in the Dominican Republic said Thursday they are looking for a cemetery caretaker as part of an investigation into the bodies of 6 newborns found discarded near a cemetery in the capital, Santo Domingo. Earlier this week, the spokeswoman for a nearby hospital said the institution had turned over the bodies of 6 newborns to a funeral home popular for proper burial. Authorities have said the babies died on different dates of different causes, and that parents sometimes don't claim the bodies because they don't have the financial resources for a burial. Still to come in Our News, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was October 6th. Plus, 3 more weeks until the return of the Bahamas Culinary and Arts Festival. A noted visual artist gives us a sneak peek of what you can expect. And then in Our News at 7:30, chaos erupts at a UB Pride Week forum. See tempers flare when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus,
welcome back to Our News. It's now time to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was October 6.
In 1991, world-renowned Oscar-winning actress Elizabeth Taylor married her 8th husband, builder Larry Fortensky. The photo on the screen was taken during a session with her husband-to-be at a news conference on September 11th that year in New York to announce a new premium perfume line, White Diamond. Taylor is seen saying enough with Fortensky by her side. Now, some of you might remember this one. In 2010, a popular photo-sharing app was launched. You may be able to guess this one. Instagram was founded by Kevin Systrom and Mike Kruger and later acquired by American company Facebook Inc., now known as Meta Platform. Instagram now has 1.4 billion users. And then on this day in 2012, the world's first bicycle march for the legalization of marijuana happened in Colombia. In this photo, a man is smoking a marijuana cigarette during the bicycle march for the legalization of marijuana self-cultivation for medicinal and recreational purposes in Medellin. It is now illegal to smoke marijuana.
And finally, in news tonight, we are officially in the month of October, which means the countdown to the Bahamas Culinary and Arts Festival presented by Bahamar is on. And if you plan to attend this October 27th through the 29th, you are in for a treat, courtesy of visual artist Angelica Wallace-Whitfield. Wallace-Whitfield has been a professional artist while working a traditional job for the last decade. But in 2019, she says she left her job to pursue art full-time.
I'm full-time into murals, so public artworks at restaurants, schools, businesses, homes, things like that, and also in my studio.
Wallace-Whitfield specializes in public art and murals and describes her work as very Bahamian themed.
So I'm pulling on sort of flora of the Bahamas, a lot of sort of indigenous trees and flowers, animals, a lot of focus on flamingos. People love flamingos and I love the color pink, so sort of bringing that into my work a lot is really fun.
As a featured artist for the Bahamas Culinary and Arts Festival presented by Bahamar, she says she is excited to see the various artists coming together. For Fuse, Wallace-Whitfield will continue a series from her previous solo exhibition focusing on family photos.
And it's sort of exploring the idea of memory and repression of memory and just how our mind sort of fills the void of memory. So a lot of the work, like the works behind me, are almost collages of different memories. So like I said, using a lot of old family photos and piecing together images of my mother and my father, myself, my cousins, my siblings, things like that.
Now Fuse encompasses the art component of the festival and will feature artists and galleries from across the region. Wallace-Whitfield believes the initiative is long overdue.
Being an island nation, I feel like a lot of what we're all doing in the Caribbean has similar sort of narratives, and having this bridge through Fuse to sort of come together and create dialogue with all of these different countries in the diaspora is really important, and really exciting to see just how the works overlap and the sort of subject matter overlaps.
Now to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Megan. Thanks so much. Well, chaos erupts at a UB Pride Week Forum. Plus, a carjacker who shot an off-duty cop gets a 2-year sentence. Here are your latest headlines. Total chaos first tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. Tempers flare at a UB Pride Week Forum.
They have been disrespectful. The entire movement has been disrespectful.
Can I respond? Hello? Plus, active investigation. The Civil Aviation Authority grounding a Flamingo Air aircraft. The authority chairman goes on record. Also, West Grand Bahama and Bimini PLP branch leaders say they want a former cabinet minister to be their next MP. And later, why the Canadian High Commissioner says it's important for member states to come together for change. Our news live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Doctors Hospital's reimagined primary care. We've invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Favorite Bahamian artist of all time? I'll give you some time to think with it.
The greatest Bahamian song was recorded by the beginning of the end, Funky Nassau.
We're in a day and age where things can be different and still be authentically Bahamian because it's the Bahamian people bringing it to you.
Junkin was like the heart and soul of the Bahamian culture.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer...
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Tempers flared at the University of the Bahamas last night as attendees and presenters clashed head-on during a forum held in recognition of Pride Week. In a moment, our Joshua Williams tells us what was intended to be an academic forum ended in a shouting match Thursday night as members of the audience, inclusive of the Bahamas Christian Council President Delton Fernandez, went back and forth with panelists. But before we get to that story, earlier this week, a video showing a Flamingo Air flight mid-air with its door open and stairs deployed went viral. Today, authorities are confirming the flight has been grounded. And that's not the only airline with grounded airplanes. I spoke with the chairman of the Civil Aviation. Here's the update. It was this video that captured the attention of many this week. Flamingo Air's boarding ladder deployed during an early morning flight. Our News obtaining a document circulated internally by the Bahamas Air Navigation Services Authority, which says the Civil Aviation Authority has suspended with immediate effect Flamingo Air's aircraft Charlie 6 Mike Kilo. Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority, Devard Francis, providing more details on the matter.
The aircraft in question is grounded, and as I'm advised, they're doing a full inspectorate on all of the aircrafts.
And as for why the investigation is necessary,
that is at the discretion of Civil Aviation. So at for any airline, we can in fact proffer an inspection on any airline in the Bahamas, and that's basically the portfolio of Civil Aviation.
the question was asked whether or not the viral video prompted the full investigation.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that it could be an amalgamation of other matters also that I can't discuss.
Additionally, 2 aircraft belonging to Pineapple Air was also grounded, according to that document. Charlie 6 Mike India Charlie and Charlie 6 Kilo Sierra Charlie. When the chairman was asked to confirm that, here was his response.
I can't disclose at this time.
The document also says that no air traffic service is to be rendered to those aircraft, and the order remains in effect until canceled or amended by the Office of the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority. Francis says the safety of the traveling public is of utmost importance.
We have to ensure that all of the rules, guidelines, and regulations are adhered to, and we are here to just protect everyone who are traveling and traversing through the skies on these airlines.
All right, well, a man who fired at an off-duty policeman while trying to steal his car has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. Dominique Roll initially faced charges of attempted murder and attempted armed robbery in relation to the June 8th, 2016 incident. Under a plea deal, Roll pleaded guilty to possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life and attempted stealing. Now, around 2:30 a.m. on the day in question, Roll and another man went to an off-duty police officer's home with the intention of stealing parts from his Honda Accord. When the officer confronted the thieves, one of them shot at him. The officer drew his gun and shot Roll's alleged accomplice in the leg. Police in Grand Bahama arresting 2 men on Thursday after they were found in possession of dangerous drugs. Just after 6:50 p.m., a 34-year-old male resident of Freeport was taken into custody by Drug Enforcement Unit officers after a large quantity of suspected marijuana was found on the perimeter of his home. The drugs weighed 1.17 pounds with an estimated street value of $1,085. Now, in another incident at 10:35 p.m., Rapid Response Unit officers executed a search warrant at a home on Independence Avenue, where a quantity of suspected marijuana was found, leading to the arrest of a 29-year-old man. The drugs weighed 24 grams and is valued at some $120. Well, chaos erupted at an event held at the University of the Bahamas Thursday evening after attendees and presenters went head-to-head during a forum held in recognition of Pride Week. Our Joshua Williams was there and had this report.
They have been disrespectful. The entire engagement has been disrespectful.
What was intended to be an academic forum ended in a shouting match Thursday night as members of the audience, inclusive of Bahamas Christian Council President Delton Fernando, went back and forth with panelists during a presentation in celebration of Pride Week. Fernando says they were invited to the forum at the University of the Bahamas.
We were invited like every other behavior, and we want to sit and hear what it is that is being presented.
For the most part, proceedings went smoothly as Dr. Krimal Sanders gave the keynote address. It was during the question and answer segment when tempers flared. Opposition came from Christian Council Vice President Pastor Mario Moxie, who accused the forum of being one-sided.
I think it appeared as though the university left academics and went into advocacy.
This peeling back refers to the university's decision to withdraw, then support again the forum last Sunday, after the Christian Council held a press conference condemning the event. Questions were also raised about the logo used at the event, a Bahamian flag surrounded by the colors of the rainbow.
You will not be saying what to do with that flag. If you all take that flag of this country, you're going to cause a riot.
Now, it was this hypothetical question asked during the question and answer segment that caused all hell to break loose.
This Sunday, right? Since you were able to come here and do what you did, am I able to go to your church? Wait, let me hear. Am I able to go? No, hold on, wait. That's a yes or no question.
This inciting a back and forth between members of the audience and presenters until the forum was shut down by one of the organizers who cited time constraints. The parties involved speaking to us in the aftermath.
Our hope was that we could engage, even with people who disagree with us, in a civil way moving forward. And what we saw was really disappointing.
But I don't think no one walks away here thinking that they were engaging us in any way today. In fact, when we started to engage, they shut it down.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Well, another warm day in the capital to start the weekend off. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is in the Weather Center with a first look at weather. Ian?
Thanks, Natalia, and good evening again, Bahamas. Currently outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 83. Our winds are from the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour with a feels-like temperature of 93. Taking a first look now at our satellite and radar imagery. At this time, we have few clouds moving across the northwest Bahamas as well as the southeast Bahamas. Most of that is associated with now post-tropical storm Philippe, which continues to pull northwards far to the northeast of our area, skirting Bermuda, heading towards maritime Canada and possibly even towards Maine and New England area. Stay tuned to our extended forecast and your tropical weather look straight ahead.
Still to come on our news, just who will be the next candidate for the upcoming by-election in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. Hear who some are saying should be the next area representative. Plus, climate action, the focus of the 4th Inter-American Meeting on Sustainable Development. Also highlighting excellence. Several Bahamians celebrated for their contributions to nation building. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
A familiar face has been nominated to be the PLP's next candidate in the upcoming by-election, but the party says former MPs will not be considered. Still, leaked documents revealing West Grand Bahama and Bimini PLP branch chairmen say they want former Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson to be their next MP. Brittany McDermott reports.
With speculation mounting over who the PLP will select to run in West Grand Bahama and Bimini, our news obtained these letters from the constituency chairmen nominating former PLP Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson. The first letter from Bimini Branch Chairman Kitty Saunders to leader Philip Davis reads, "We believe that Mr. Gibson is the ideal candidate to fill the important role. Unlike a novice politician with no prior governance experience, Mr. Gibson has a proven track record of dedication and effective service to his constituents and his country. The second letter, signed by 3 branch chairmen in West Grand Bahama, reads, though he may have previously served as a member of Parliament on New Providence, the people of Grand Bahama have keenly felt the positive impact of his dedicated work during his time as a cabinet minister. However, a statement from the party says no former parliamentarian will be a part of the selection pool, adding the choice will come from the existing stock of aspirants from the 2021 general election.
Yesterday, the party again issued a statement about the process of the selection of a candidate to succeed the late Obi Wilchcombe in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. The fact is the process has not begun and various actors are improperly stirring the pot.
Gibson served 3 terms as Member of Parliament for Golden Gates. He was also appointed Minister of Housing and Minister of National Insurance and Labour. He was also a trade unionist serving as BCPOU president. Gibson's most recent stint in the headlines came during a criminal trial in 2019. It ended in him being acquitted of 15 counts of bribery. Despite his past, both branch heads say Gibson has made many notable contributions to the constituency during the times he served in cabinet. The party, however, says the selection process hasn't begun yet.
But the leader intends, he says, to convene the candidates committee shortly, at which point a nominee will be advanced to the National General Council as soon as the official funeral is done on the 12th of October 2023.
When contacted, Gibson declined to comment. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Bahamas Chairman Paiswell Forbes speaking out on that protest by ZNS workers earlier today. Late payment of salaries, overtime, union benefits, and an apparent rodent infestation of their offices, just some of the issues Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union members say led to today's action. BCPOU President Sherry Benjamin says those legacy issues are compounded by a lack of communication with management. However, Forbes says the protest took him by surprise.
As far as I know, we have a pretty good line of communication with the BCPOU president and also the BCMU president. And I reached out to the general manager's office. They didn't have any communication that the union executives were trying to reach them. I didn't get any call from either union. And so therefore I was somewhat surprised when I got the call today that the union members are at the gate.
Well, we'll have a full breakdown of Forbes' response in our news this weekend. Be sure and stay tuned for that. Well, members of the Organization of America's gathering this week with a focus on climate action at the 4th Inter-American Meeting on Sustainable Development. Discussions focus on hemispheric efforts by member states and the collective effort to collaborate on sustainable development addressing the climate crisis. We spoke to Canada's High Commissioner to the Bahamas, Emina Tudokovic, at a farewell reception last night at the Atlantis Resort.
I was really impressed, first of all, with Bahamas hosting of the meeting, but more importantly, the fact that we spent a substantial amount of time talking about climate change and sustainable development was really valuable. I think you've probably heard that there was adoption of a Bahamas declaration on climate financing, and also adoption of an inter-American action plan on sustainable development. So I think the meetings went really well, lots of interesting stuff put on the table, and for the Bahamas, who have visibly stated that their foreign policy is based on climate action, it was really well done.
She also shared the importance of member states coming around the table to create change.
Canada is quite fond of the multilateral system because, especially if you look at something like climate change and the effects of climate change, it's not anything that one single country can tackle on their own. So the fact that we got together as an organization of member states, Organization of American States, and came to a unified view on what we should do next was really valuable. So it's not all just talking, it is really, coming up with what are our concrete next steps and how we work together, particularly leading up into some significant meetings like the Conference of State Parties on climate change next year.
The estimated $1.3 billion worth of deals up for discussion during the first British trade over 20 years may be a conservative estimate. That's according to Managing Director of the Caribbean Council, Chris Bennett, who says by the end of the week, most of the delegation found more opportunities than they had expected.
What I think all of our delegation have found is that as they've entered into commercial conversations with the different parties, they've found that there are actually other projects and more opportunities. And one of our ports companies, for example, came with one port in mind. He's gone back with 3 ports in mind. So lots and lots of opportunity. I think there's a huge excitement amongst the delegation to see what they can do next.
And after a week full of networking, meeting with various ministers, and a Grand Bahama day trip, Bennett says some are so impressed by the potential that they've extended their trip.
Many of them are planning to be back here very soon indeed. Some have actually stayed on over the weekend so that they can carry on with meetings next week, which they hadn't planned to originally. We're now looking at potentially receiving a Bahamian business group in London in November, which is hugely exciting.
When Our News comes back from the break highlighting excellence, several individuals are recognized for their dedication to their communities.
Jonquil Jones gets ready to lead the Liberty to the promised land, and the men's national soccer team gets ready to return to action. Don't go anywhere, our sports is coming up next.
And nice temperatures on this Friday evening as we get ready to head into the weekend. Ian is back with what you can expect in the extended weather forecast when Our News continues.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we
This is Our News. Welcome back. Jonquil Jones gets ready to lead her team in the WNBA Finals, and the men's soccer team gets ready to play once again. Here's Tej Adderley with a check on sports. Tej?
Thanks, Italia. Good evening. I'm Tage Adley here to take you into this extended weekend with some sports. Jonquel Jones lost in last season's WNBA Finals to the Las Vegas Aces, suffering a foot fracture in the process. She's back in the finals, and she's ready to get that elusive ring. Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty will play their first game of the WNBA Finals on Sunday at 3 p.m. JJ's put up gaudy numbers so far in the playoffs, averaging a hair under 17 points and 13 rebounds per game, as the team put away the Washington Mystics and Connecticut Sun for a chance to win a championship. Riding with her is league MVP Brianna Stewart, three-point record holder Sabrina Ionescu, and all-defensive team player Benaja Laney. They'll have their hands full against the Las Vegas Aces, the only team with a record better than theirs this year. Moving things over to the pitch, the men's soccer team is preparing to return to the field again. The Bahamas men's national soccer team will return to CONCACAF Nations League play against Antigua and Barbuda. Their match will be played on October the 14th at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium right here in New Providence. The Bahamas played a couple of CONCACAF matches last month, falling to Puerto Rico 6-1 and losing a close one to Grenada 3-2. Now they'll have a chance to get in the win column and earn some league points. Now, we'll have more on the match when it draws closer. We are done with Sports with the Week. I'm Tage Adderley. Have a great extended weekend.
Still ahead on our news tonight, the Trailblazer Award set for this weekend. Several men and women from various communities are among the group. Plus, nice weather on this Friday as we get ready for the weekend. Ian is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast when our news returns. Stay with us.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your
Welcome back to our news. Nice temperatures on this Friday evening. Wondering how to plan your weekend? Well, Ian is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast. Ian?
Thanks, Italia. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for hanging with us. Here's a look at your extended forecast and your tropical weather outlook. We begin with the tail end of now post-tropical storm Philippe, which continues to pull away to the north and towards the eastern Atlantic area. Across our area right now, we have few clouds, not much in terms of significant weather impacting our area at this time, but we still will expect a trailing trough associated with this tropical system to affect portions of the Greater Antilles. Further across the Atlantic, we have a tropical wave that just moved off the coast of Africa that will be monitored for possible cyclone development over the next 7 days. Our focus now on post-tropical Philippe, which will continue to move towards the north and across Atlantic Canada and portions of New England and possibly New Hampshire over the next 2 days. Here's a look at your boating forecast across all areas. We still have a small craft caution out there due to those swells. Also a risk for rip currents for you swimmers. Winds will be variable at 10 knots or less. Seas running 1 to 3 but up to 6 feet in those northeasterly swells. You can expect a low tide tonight at 8:57 p.m. High tide tomorrow morning at 2:46 a.m. Here's a look at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, folks, yes, remember, this is a holiday weekend, Discovery weekend, so Saturday, Sunday, even parts of Monday looking pretty good. We expect partly to mostly sunny conditions. However, as the week progresses into the work week, we expect a frontal boundary through the area Sunday, Monday, and a reinforcing one that should hang up across the northwest Bahamas, and this will increase rain chances into early next week. Expect those highs getting up to the mid to upper 80s, even popping 90s here or there. Low temperatures dipping down into the mid 70s, getting up to the upper 80s at times with some clouds. That's your wrap on the evening forecast. Have a great night, everyone. Have fun. Be safe.
All right, we will surely have fun, and thanks so much. Well, it's an award ceremony created to honor men and women in the community who are doing extraordinary things in their respective roles. The first ever Trailblazer Awards takes place this weekend, and committee member Gina Seeley tells us this year the honorees will be those who have done outstanding work in the field of women's rights and human rights.
We have 3 women that we are honoring with Lifetime Achievement Awards. They are the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, our Minister of Education, Marion Bethel, and also Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson. We are also honoring 3 community advocacy groups. They are the Zonta Club of New Providence, the Zonta Club of Nassau, and also the Links Incorporated.
Seeley notes that while they've made it a point to express their gratitude to the women about their contributions, this is their opportunity to show it.
A group of us got together and we decided that this will be our inaugural year, but each year we will look at different industries and find women in those industries that we feel need to be honored and saluted. So next year it might be the healthcare industry or education or engineering, but this year it's all about human rights and women's rights.
All right, sounds great. Well, the Trailblazer Awards takes place this Saturday at the Atlantis Theater beginning at 6 p.m. For more information on tickets, you can reach out via their social media platforms at Trailblazer 242. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.